Thanks for clicking. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this one.
The kitchen was a war zone. Clattering pans, shouting line cooks, the sizzle of oil, and the constant beep of the ticket printer. It was all part of a day's work at the Ember Fork, an upscale fusion restaurant downtown with a pretentious menu and even more pretentious clientele. On paper, it was fine dining. In practice, organized chaos. Eva Carter had been at the Ember Fork for nearly 6 years, and she knew the place inside out. She was the head server, unofficial floor manager, wine whisperer, and sometimes therapist when things went sideways. She wasn't on salary. She wasn't even technically in charge. But everyone, from the dishwasher to the executive chef, came to her when something needed fixing. Then came Graham. Graham Langley, fresh from corporate, was dropped in as the new general manager after the last one burned out and quit mid-shift during a surprise health inspection. Graham had an MBA, a tight haircut, and the kind of smile that said, "I read 3 leadership books and still think I know more than you." He walked into the Ember Fork like he was entering a boardroom, clipboard in hand, shoes too shiny for a kitchen, and immediately started restructuring. "Efficiency is everything," he told the staff during his first meeting. "The restaurant business is about optimization. Metrics. Scalable success." Eva stared at him like he had 3 heads. The Ember Fork wasn't scalable. It was built on nuance, special requests, loyal guests, a chef who changed the menu depending on the mood of the weather. But Graham didn't care. He changed scheduling software, cut pre-shift meetings, reassigned server sections for balance, despite everyone's protests. He removed the staff meal, took away the small perks like free espresso shots and late-night fries. Then came the rules. No server may spend more than 90 seconds per table. All guests must be greeted with a scripted line. No substitutions unless printed on the menu. VIP guests must be given absolute priority no matter what. And Graham loved his VIP guests. He treated them like royalty. Comp meals. Overrode reservations to give them the best table. Ignored actual restaurant flow to appease them. One night, it all came to a boiling point. It was Friday, the busiest night of the week. The dining room was packed. The kitchen was already behind. A wedding party of 14 had shown up early. A Yelp elite reviewer was hovering in a corner taking photos of the salt shakers. Eva was double-booked, running drinks and handling 2 servers sections because someone had called out and Graham refused to call in backup. And then, with the smug aura of a sitcom villain, Graham approached her and said, "Eva, I need you to bump a 4-top from table 12. "Table 12 is already seated," she replied, not even looking up as she balanced 2 wine glasses. "Yes, but Mr. Caulfield and his guests just walked in, and I want them to have the best seat in the house. You want me to kick out a table mid-meal so some hedge fund bro and his Instagram models can sit by the fireplace?" "Exactly. Tell them we're moving them to a better table. Offer a free dessert if they complain." "It's fine, it's in the handbook." Eva narrowed her eyes. "You want me to follow everything in that handbook tonight?" Graham smiled like he'd just won a petty office war. "Yes, exactly. No freelancing. No favors. Just follow the process." She looked at him for a long moment, nodded once, and turned on her heel. "Copy that." That night, Eva initiated what would become known among the staff as the service protocol. And malicious compliance was about to be served, hot. Eva didn't do anything wrong that night. She simply followed Graham's rules, every single one of them. By the book. To the letter. With a devilish gleam in her eye. First, she walked to table 12, where a young couple was mid-bite, clearly enjoying their anniversary dinner. "Hi folks," she said, smiling with rehearsed brightness. "Per our manager's direction, we're relocating you to another table to better serve your Ember Fork experience." The couple blinked. The woman frowned. "We're being moved?" "It's a courtesy upgrade." Eva chirped. "There's a table right next to the kitchen doors. You'll hear the sizzle of the chef's skillet in real time. Very immersive." The man stared. "Is this a joke?" "I'll comp you a dessert for the inconvenience," she added mechanically, like she'd said it 1,000 times. They were clearly unhappy but too polite to argue. Eva helped them move. And just like that, table 12 was ready for Mr. Caulfield, the king of the evening. Graham watched from the host's stand with smug approval. Eva saluted him with a sarcastic bow. He didn't notice. And then, the real game began. Eva activated protocol mode with the servers. Each table was greeted with exactly the scripted line. "Hello, welcome to the Ember Fork, where culinary elegance meets fusion brilliance." Nobody got more than 90 seconds of attention. Not even the needy couple at table 6 who always asked for extra lemon wedges, balsamic on the side, and 6 kinds of reassurance. No substitutions were allowed. One customer asked for grilled chicken instead of duck. The server responded with, "Unfortunately, that is not a menu-authorized substitution. Would you like to consult the beverage list instead?" The servers were in on it. They executed everything flawlessly. So did the kitchen staff, reluctantly. A man at table 9 asked for the duck, just slightly less pink. Chef replied through gritted teeth, "No substitutions." Sent it out exactly medium rare. The result? A symphony of complaints. "Excuse me, we asked for no peanuts in this." "Yes, but that's not printed as a substitution option." "This chicken is dry. It's cooked exactly per kitchen spec." "Can I talk to the manager?" "He's with the VIPs right now." Speaking of VIPs, Mr. Caulfield and his crew had taken over table 12. Loud, entitled, and drunk off the comped wine Graham had personally delivered. They ordered one of everything and demanded it now. Problem was, the kitchen was already delayed and Eva was now enforcing standard kitchen pacing times, per handbook protocol. Their appetizers arrived in 14 minutes, not 10. Their entrees in 28, not 25. Mr. Caulfield snapped his fingers for attention. Eva appeared with a clipboard. "I'll be with you in approximately 43 seconds, she said, checking her timer. He was stunned into silence. Then came the birthday. Table 3 was celebrating an 80th birthday for a sweet grandmother named Lucille. Normally, the staff would gather, sing the song, light a candle, make it special. But Eva had checked the new SOPs. No more than 2 staff members per celebratory event. Singing must not exceed 15 seconds. So Lucille got a clapped-out birthday song performed by a server and a busser who looked like they were being held hostage, followed by a single scoop of vanilla with a broken candle. The family was livid. Eva apologized with the same line each time, "We're simply following company protocol. Would you like to fill out a feedback card?" Graham meanwhile was loving the chaos, because he didn't know it was chaos. From his limited vantage point he saw full tables, servers moving fast and rules being followed. His clipboard was full of check marks and bar graphs he didn't understand. No. The health inspector arrived. Unannounced. Routine check but always stressful. Eva greeted him, checked the rules, and escorted him directly through the dining room. Yes, through the dining room. Past the Yelp elite still snapping photos. Past Lucille's sulking grandchildren. Past the kitchen doors where the walk-in freezer alarm had been blinking for 40 minutes. Eva announced, loudly, "This is Mr. Feldman from the Department of Public Health. He'll be conducting a routine inspection per City Code 48.2. Everyone stopped and stared. Feldman looked mildly alarmed. Graham approached, wild-eyed. "Eva, why didn't you take him around the back entrance? You said all guests and officials must be greeted and escorted through the public entry. Page 3, Section 2. He blinked. That was meant for VIPs. "Ah," Eva said with faux surprise. "We don't differentiate by person anymore. Everyone gets equal treatment. You said so yourself in the memo." Feldman chuckled. "I like her." By the end of the night, 4 tables had walked out without finishing. 2 Yelp reviews went live in real time. 1 busboy threatened to quit after being asked to script greet a table mid-bussing. Graham received a handwritten complaint from Lucille's grandson, and a sharp look from Feldman. And Eva? Eva filed her end-of-night report with perfect formatting and Graham's rulebook stapled to the front. The next day something happened that nobody expected. Saturday morning came like a hangover. The Ember Fork was quiet except for the hum of prep work and the clink of baking trays in the kitchen. Eva arrived early, calm and collected. She wasn't scheduled, but she had a feeling today would be interesting. Sure enough, at 9:17 a.m., the real boss walked through the front doors. Trina Boudreau, Regional Director. Higher up the food chain than Graham. Feared, respected, and, most dangerously, observant. Eva didn't even need to summon her. The events of the previous night had apparently beat her to the punch. Graham was summoned to the wine cellar, for a private conversation. It lasted 17 minutes. He emerged red-faced, his clipboard mysteriously missing, and walked briskly to the office. He didn't return. Trina called an all-staff meeting 10 minutes later. Everyone gathered, servers still in aprons, dishwashers in Crocs, the hostess clutching the reservation book like a shield. Trina stood with her usual grace, calm but sharp. "Let me begin," she said, "by stating the obvious. Last night was a disaster." Nobody moved. Some looked at their shoes. Others glanced at Eva. She continued. "However, It was a disaster of compliance. And that's what makes it special. A ripple of suppressed laughter passed through the group. You followed every rule, every line, every memo. And what happened? Chaos, muttered the bartender. Exactly, Trina said. A system built on rigidity crumbled under its own weight. She turned to Eva. Miss Carter, you were at the center of this. Yes, ma'am, Eva said, fully expecting either a scolding or a firing. Instead, Trina smiled. Good. Eva blinked. Good? You revealed the weakness in the structure. You showed us the difference between management and leadership, between running a place by numbers and running it by sense. Then, turning to the rest of the team, from this day forward, the Ember Fork will go back to doing what made it great. Real hospitality, trust in staff, flexibility with guests. That means Eva is now the acting floor manager, effective immediately. There were gasps, cheers, a spontaneous round of applause. The kitchen even banged a ladle on a pot like a victory bell. Graham? He was reassigned to data analysis and back-office development at the regional HQ, which everyone knew meant exile. Over the next few weeks, the Ember Fork came back to life. The servers tossed the scripts and went back to reading tables like pros. Substitutions returned, within reason. The chef started smiling again, terrifying but in a good way. Lucille and her family were invited back for a full redo of her birthday on the house. This time the whole staff sang. Eva led with calm authority. She knew the restaurant, the people, and the rhythm. She trained new hires with empathy. She negotiated guest issues before they escalated. She even kept the parts of Graham's system that actually worked, like the automated tip pooling and the real-time inventory tracking. But the rest? Gone. And as for Mr. Caulfield? He came back a week later, expecting his usual royal treatment. This time he was politely seated near the bathroom, handed a standard menu, and served by a waiter who didn't laugh at his jokes. When he tried to complain, Eva simply said, "Sorry, Mr. Caulfield. No exceptions. We treat all guests equally here." He never came back. Nobody missed him. The Ember Fork survived the fire, and came out stronger for it. And Eva? She hung Graham's handbook in the break room. Frame. Labeled, "In case of emergency, break glass and obey blindly." The end.
And that, folks, is how a micromanaging manager got flambéed by his own rulebook. What I love about this story is how it proves something every good restaurant worker already knows. Hospitality isn't about perfection. It's about people. And when leadership ignores that, well, sometimes the best revenge is to follow their exact instructions and let the system burn itself down. Eva didn't yell sabotage or revolt. She just followed orders exactly as they were given and exposed how ridiculous they were. That's malicious compliance at its finest. Have you ever worked in food service under a manager like Graham? Someone who thought a spreadsheet could replace common sense? Tell me your worst by-the-book restaurant nightmare in the comments. If you were a guest in that restaurant during the chaos, how would you have handled it? Would you have spoken up? Or just watched it all unfold with a breadstick in hand? Let's swap stories down below. And hey, if you enjoyed this tale of kitchen chaos and well-earned karma, don't forget to like the video, hit subscribe, and ring that bell, because I got plenty more stories cooking. Until next time, remember, sometimes the best way to stand up is to sit back and serve exactly what they ordered.